Hello everybody, my name is Michael and today is November of 2022 and I'm going to show you how to create a Windows Server VM instance on the AWS cloud platform. A few things to explain to you. Why did I say it was November of 2022? Because Amazon changes their console a lot. So what you see in this video may be different a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I don't know. Microsoft does the same thing with Azure. Google does the same thing with their cloud. So they're always changing it. Get used to it. Anyway, the VM is a virtual machine, but up in the cloud they call them an instance. And AWS is Amazon Web Services, and they provide compute as a service. So it's just like you can get electricity as a service, and you can get transportation as a service from a bus or a taxi or rent-a-car or a train. You can get food as a service. You can get compute as a service. So we're going to use servers as a service. So you start off by choosing which operating system you want. Either Windows, you could have 2016, 2019, 2022 is the newest one. We'll use that one. And you can use Linux, you can use Ubuntu, you can use CentOS, you can use Gentoo, you can use Red Hat, you can use Debian. They have a version, Amazon has one called Amazon Linux, which is a kind of Debian sort of blend that they have, I believe. So we'll be, if we made a Linux instance, we'd use that. And that's their default. So they're called Amazon Machine Images, or AMIs. And then we want to select how powerful the server we would like. You can spend as much money as you want, just like when you go to the shop. They'll sell you anything you want. But generally, you know, it's a lot cheaper to use the cloud servers than it is to buy them, because servers can be expensive. So instead of spending $5,000 or $10,000 for a real expensive, powerful server, we can spend 10, 15, 20 cents, even €1 an hour for a really powerful one. But it's a lot cheaper. Euro, I say, because I'm in Ireland. $1 an hour, whatever currency you have. You could be whatever country you're in. You know, so it's cheaper to use the cloud in most cases. Anyway, you're going to choose a username and password that you have to remember, and you're also going to set up a little key there. And we're going to use something called Remote Desktop Protocol to connect up, RDP. And this is going to let us use virtual desktops. One thing that might happen is when I connect, it may stop the video. And if it does that, I'll start a new one and just continue where it leaves off if that happens. Okay. And then I have Windows machine, Windows 11, so it has the RDP client. If you have a Mac PC, it may not have that RDP client, but you can download that from the Mac store. And just for fun, when we're done, we'll set up a little website. So without further ado, let us go up on the web. So what we see here is the Amazon console. Now, how do we get to the console? How I got to it and how you get to it are two different things. I'm going to type in aws.com. And this is normally how you'd get to it. So we'd either create an account, or if you have one, you can sign in. So they have a free trial. I think it's 90 days. And with their 90-day free trial, what you can do, oh yeah, we just saw it there. It said, here, go back to that one. It said use Amazon EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. That's the one we're going to use. S3 is Simple Storage Solution, and more, free for a year. So I'm on the free tier. Also, by the way, there's an ad here for their reInvent. I'm in November of 2022, and every year in Las Vegas they have this huge party because they have new services in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And at the end of the year, they have a huge party and show off all their new stuff. Okay, so Amazon Cloud is like really, really cool. Okay, it's like really awesome. So normally we'd go log in. However, I'm teaching a class here, and I'm using the Amazon Academy. So we have to, with our Academy, we start our lab, and then we go click here on this, and then it gets us into the dashboard. Now, once you're in the dashboard, you go and click on Services, and we go to Compute, and in Compute, I go to EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. And you see I have 9 little virtual machines running here. See all those little virtual machines? So I'm going to destroy them all a little bit later because I don't really need them. But let me show you how to make them. We just click here, Launch Instance. And what we need to do is give it a name and call it, how about, my demo web server. Okay, my demo web server. And then we have all these images, but there's the default AWS, and we can get Mac, we can get Ubuntu, we can get Red Hat, you can get Gentoo, SUSE, you can get any kind you want. But we want Windows, and we're going to stick with this Windows, and we're going to have a T2 micro. Now we could get more powerful instance. This only has 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM, but what if we want 2 gig, 2 CPUs 4 gig, 2 CPUs 8 gig, 8 CPUs 32 gig. Now they do cost you more money, okay? And besides, we don't need that. We only need the T2 micro is fine for what we're doing. And, well, should we get a... Oh, we'll go for the T2 small. No, we'll stick with T2 micro. Why not? And let's go here. Let's go get a key pair. Now, I have one because I'm working with my Year 2 Cloud Fundamentals class, because I'm a teacher. But if you don't have one, you can get a new key pair. You download this little PEM file, and I just have mine somewhere. We're going to be building it on the network. I have security groups here. So if you have security groups, you can use them, but we're going to create a new one. And the security group, it acts kind of like a firewall. It's not a firewall. You still have the Amazon firewall there on their network. But what it does is it opens up RDP port 3389, so we can connect up to it for remote desktops. And we're going to have HTTP, so we can connect to the internet. And what else do we need to do is I want to put in a username and password somewhere. So let's go find out where we do that. Interesting. I'm actually not seeing that here. So hang on a second here. That's our login. Let me stop for a second. Okay, so we have got our key pair, and we've set up our security group. One of the things for the storage, we're going to have 30 gigabytes of storage, and it's going to be a root volume. So what does that mean? It means that that's like a hard drive attached to your laptop. But like this is a server, so if I were to delete this, like when we're done, when we terminate the instance, it gets rid of the storage. But what if there was data there you needed to keep? What we could do is add a new volume. This is 8 gigabytes, but I could make that bigger. And then this is block storage, elastic block storage. And what's going to happen is when we delete the virtual machine, we'll get the option to keep the storage, which means we don't lose our data when we delete our root volume and the virtual machine. And then later on, we can attach this volume to to another virtual machine. They do charge you for storage, but it's just a few pennies. So let's go and launch our instance here. And there's our instance. Okay. Now it says connect to instance, so there's a few ways to connect. We're going to go click on this. And basically what it's going to do is we're going to be using this RDP client to connect up. Okay. So we're going to download the key. But I wanted to show you there's another way to get to the exact same screen. So if we go in to look at our instances, all of our instances are here. We made this one called My Demo Server, My Demo Web Server. So I want the key for that. So basically what we're going to want to do is go click on Connect. Okay. It should be, oh, it's pending. Look at here, see it's still pending. So let's go refresh. Still pending. Shutting down. Don't know why it's shutting down. Doesn't look too good. Let's stop for a sec. No, here, let's go investigate. Maybe it had a problem. I don't think I shut it down. So let's go refresh this again. And for some reason it did shut it down. But look, I made another server in November. This is November 2020. So let's go into this server here. And basically what we're going to do is go click on Connect. And we're going to go into the RDP client. Now this one doesn't have it. So wait a second. EC2 Instance Connect. We don't want that. What we want is to go into instances. I'm going to go refresh this. Oh, I must have killed off my server. So let's go find out what's going on here, folks. I've got this web server here. Let's go into this one. So here is our disk. It's running. It's Windows. Let's go click on Connect. There's our RDP client, and we're going to download that. And once you have the RDP client, we go click here and click Connect. And actually what we want to do is create a password for it. So what we're going to do here is go into here. We got our RDP client. Username is administrator. So let's go click here, get password. So we go get the password and give it a second here. Now let's upload our private key. They want my private key here. So let's go upload the private key. Okay, so I have my key here in a folder called AWS key, Cloud Practitioner. I put it up on the cloud. This is my year 2 key. So this is what they are going to need. So just for right now, I'm just going to go copy it. Here we go, copy. And I'm just going to go put it in this folder down here. Right there. Oops. Now let's just paste our little key in there. And let's just go paste. So now our key is there. Now we go into our little console. You'll probably just have yours in the download. But it wants us to upload that key. So I have that here on my desktop here. There's my key. It ends with .pem. And there's my key. And I'm going to go decrypt the little password. And now it's telling me I have a password. So I can always regenerate that again if I want. So now I'm logging in as administrator. So now I'm going to connect up to the console. So let's go get that RDP again. Well, it's in my downloads, so I can just go down to downloads. And there's my server there. And now I go and connect. And in this case, I just paste in my password. And I'm going to connect up to the cloud. Okay? Well, I cut out. It didn't. So far, so good. Last time I did this in Camtasia, it cut out. I'm using Camtasia. So this is looking good. Now, this is what we call remote desktops. So I'm using remote desktop protocol. And so it's going to log me inside this Windows server. So what you're seeing here would be what you see if you're logged in directly to the server. But the servers could be thousands of miles away from me. Actually, it's in North Virginia, and I'm in Ireland, so it's on the other side of the world. So it's just kind of booting up. I probably should have got a more powerful instance, but let's just see how it does. I'm going to try to put IIS on it. Okay, so I'm logged in here. This is inside my server, and let's just go here. This is back to my desktop here. And now what we want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is let's go back to the console here. And what I want you to see is we're going to go back to our instances. And I'm going to go into this November server that I'm in. And if I click inside it, I have an IP address. So if I copy that IP address, 3.91.249.213. That's this one right here. It should be the same one. See that? 213. So it's that IP address. So I'm going to go put that into a browser up here. And now that I'm inside the browser, this will show our website if we have one. Except we don't have one yet. We haven't set one up yet. So this is going to keep trying to connect up, and it's not going to connect up because it doesn't have a website and it can't connect, even though port 80 is open. Okay, so it says, I can't reach this page. So what we want to do here is we're going to go inside this virtual machine, and we are going to go here into Server Manager is going to start up. So what we can do is get our Server Manager, and what we can do is give it a second here. Server Manager should start up. So there's your Windows guide, EC2 feedback, and what we want is Server Manager. So it's not showing up here. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be installing Microsoft Edge. Should be installed. This is a little update for it, but we don't need that so much. There's an update. We can get that. But that's not the critical thing. The critical thing here, let me go close that. Critical thing here is we click on the Start button, and it started Microsoft Edge. Let's stop it. Come on, Edge, stop. So we need to go into click on the Start button here, and what we want is this thing called Server Manager. No, we don't need any of this stuff. Okay, so we have a browser there, but we actually don't need that. What we need instead is this. We need our Server Manager. So Server Manager is going to come up. You'll get this little box here for the Admin Center. We can close that one. We are going to go into Add Roles and Features, and it takes a few seconds. There's a little feedback thing up here. See that? Status. So it's still loading. Let's try it again. There we go. We're going to go Add Roles and Features. We're going to click on Next. Role-based and feature-based installation. We're going to click on Next. We're going to go Next, and I probably should have got a more powerful server. It'd go a little bit faster, but this will do. We click on Web Server, IIS, click on Add Features, click on Next, and click on Next, and click on Next again, and finally click on Next again. This will not require a restart, so we don't really care about that. We can go click Install. Now up here, one thing to know is when you're using this Server Manager, this little flag here is your notification area. So you see there's a little 1 showed up there. So basically what that is saying that it's installing the service for you. Basically what we're doing is we're making this into a web server. Okay, so so basically it takes a few seconds. So I'm just going to pause the video just for a tiny second here while that loads. Okay, I paused it for a second here, so I can close this one here. And let's go up to our little flag here, and it tells us installation has succeeded, so essentially we can get rid of that. Now notice out here it says IIS. So if we click on that, that actually is not how we are going to administer it. Theoretically, there's some things you could do there on this server. But what we want to do is go to our Internet Information Services Manager. So I could go to it from here. Typically, you're going to go to it from here. So this could be all your tools. So let's just get it from there. And what we're going to be doing is setting up a little website. Well, you actually have a website. So if we go back out here to Planet Earth, remember how this didn't work before. If I refresh this, now it should have our default IIS website there, right? So let's go back into our little baby virtual machine right here, and we go here. And we go into Sites, and we go into Default Website, and what we could do is right-click and Explore, and it's going to show us these two little thingies here. So let's go into this one here, and I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to edit that, with Paint, Microsoft Paint, and I'll get this little thing here where I can make some letters. And how about I type in November 2022 web server demo. Okay? So that's what we have here, November 2022 web server demo. Let's stretch this out a little bit. Oh, if you want, we could make it bold. We can make it a tiny bit bigger. And how about change the font? I know we don't want to go crazy here or nothing, but we could just choose another font there. Okay, how's that? Let's go save that, close that, go back to, now we're still in the cloud. Now we're going to go back to Planet Earth here and refresh our page here and abracadabra. Okay, so listen, this ends our demo here. And so basically what I'm going to do here is I could go back into this virtual machine here. I could close down my IIS console, and I could close down that. And what we're going to do is disconnect from IIS. So I just close that. It says your session will be disconnected. It doesn't end your virtual machine. Your virtual machine's still running. You just don't have remote desktop session into your virtual machine. So we click OK, and we're back on Planet Earth. And now what we should do is go back here into our instances, and we want to delete these instances. Okay. By the way, that one demo one, oh yeah, that's gone. But anyway, look, I don't need any of these. So how do you get rid of your instances? You click there and you get rid of them. But how about we just get rid of this one, and that one? We don't need those. And I'm going to go to instance state. I could stop it. Oh, let me show you a couple things. This one, I'm going to go stop it, right? Or if we want to get rid of it, instead, what we could do is go here, and we could go terminate instance. So when you terminate the instance, guess what? It's gone. On EBS-backed instance, the default action for the root EBS would be gone. Storage on any other drives, any local drives, are lost. So if I had attached another drive, I could keep the data, but anything on that root volume, since I didn't attach another hard drive, everything would be gone. Anyway, they're just letting you know all your data is going to be gone, so when they're gone, they're gone. So that should be terminating it. I think I told it to terminate it. There, go and terminate it. Now it's shutting it down, and that's the end of it. So listen, folks, this has been a great little demonstration, and just to review with you, when you're making a Windows instance, we can do Linux another day, but you choose your image, whether Windows or Linux, and which version of the OS, how powerful is the server you want, how much money you want to spend. We didn't need a username and password for this. When we do the Linux one, we will. But we did need the key, and we did need to create a password for it so we could log in as administrator. We used RDP to connect up to it, and we even set up a little website. Okay, so listen, folks, this has been fun, and I will say goodbye to you and see you in the next video. Adios, amigos, and sayonara, arrivederci, ciao, and goodbye.